We've had quite a conversation already. I just heard from Dr. Pia saying that, look, we've got to the point where the Auditor-General may not necessarily be delivering the goods, the bacon, as the politicians will put it, which the people want. And so we may have to overhaul the legal frameworks binding the work, the appointment of the Auditor-General. But before you get into that, I want you to take a swipe at the latest Auditor-General's report, what it reveals, vis-a-vis what we have seen over the years, especially putting it into context when Daniel Yaw-Domelevo was Auditor-General. What are the discrepancies? Are we doing any better in terms of these latest reports that we've seen?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, what we are seeing is that over the years, the level of misappropriations, in other words, the level of, I don't want to use the word corruption yet, because the basic fund I have shows that so much of our public funds are going to places where they ought not to be going. So it's been going up year by year, and that is what the historical analysis shows, meaning that Ghanaians as a people, our public officials that we have put in place are not making any change to the way they do things. The first point. Place. I have heard the previous speaker, and I associate with him in many of the observations that he has made, which is that apart from Domelevo, possibly, I remember, I think somewhere in the course of last year, the Occupy Ghana decided to engage the Attorney-General regarding their failure or refusal or neglect to enforce the findings of the Auditor-General with regard to surcharges. Indeed, and in fact, it was about the work of the Auditor-General as a whole. In other words, the fact that the Auditor-General ought to be making these allowances and issuing surcharges. It appears that between 2017 up to about last year that the Occupy Ghana decided to engage the Attorney General, there had only been one disallowance and surcharge. And that is, quite frightening, if we may put it that way. Whether it's a lack of will on the part of the Attorney General or whether there is lack of evidence on the part of the Auditor-General, we cannot tell. But the evidence is that what was put before Parliament constituted prima facie evidence of the corruption or the misapplication or the misappropriation that had taken place within our financial and accounting system of the public service. And therefore, if there are good reasons, those people ought not to be prosecuted, then we as a people are entitled to know, and that can only come from two sources. First, the Accountant General, the Auditor General, and secondly, the Attorney General. So it's very difficult. I'm having a difficulty at laying blames on any one of them, but they raise good questions for us as citizens of this country. Whether it's a lack of will, whether it's the lack of something that is preventing them from going about it. But generally, they speak well.